lot of times people will work on the wrong piece of the mobility equation. Hip internal and external rotation is probably the best example of that I see. So a lot of times athletes will feel tightness in their hips and they'll end up doing the pigeon stretch nonstop. They'll do this stretch every single day. And when I look at their hip external rotation, they've got great hip external rotation. And then when we look at the other side of the equation, their hip internal rotation is crap. And when we actually address the one that is more limited, they'll see better, faster, longer term changes in their movement quality rather than what they've been continually spinning their wheels working on. So let's look at hip internal and external. Like I mentioned earlier as well, the hip socket varies greatly between individuals. So I'm gonna give you some ballpark numbers here, but if you don't hit the perfect number and you're feeling pain when we stretch into a certain position, don't go jamming away at your hip, causing some irritation because you're trying to force these numbers. This is a ballpark generalized idea. But we're first gonna look at hip external rotation. And external rotation happens when our foot goes inward in relationship to our midline. So Cody's sitting up nice and tall. I've got his leg positioned directly in front of the knee positioned directly in front of his hip. And then we're gonna rotate into external rotation. And if we're looking at a line down his shin, we should see about a 45-degree angle in that direction. If we're then going hip internal rotation by lifting the leg out, we're gonna see about a 30-degree angle is what we'd ideally like to see there. Now, if we really crank this direction, we're gonna create some pinching in the hip and irritate that, so be gentle with this. Also watch to make sure you're not pulling so hard here that the athlete's entire body is moving, because you can certainly pull them through that stiffness and not get a true reading of what their hip mobility is actually like.